What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We took a little bit of a hiatus after the Flavor Express round 4 where we won the championship and kind of just fell off the face of the earth. We have been filming some content behind the scenes, but nothing that we've wanted to put out as it was mainly just us working out in the garage. And I want to take some time today and kind of reflect on the year that we've had up until this point. It is officially the end of the season. We're getting ready to go into 2026. So what did we accomplish this year and what are we going to do to change it for next year? Now I'd like to start off by talking about the accomplishments that we did on the West Coast. Obviously it was not done in this car. We ran 4 events this year with the West Coast C6. It was a 235 series hosted by Rob at Flavor Express. It was a great series overall. We started off the season strong. We got first place at the first round at Apple Valley Speedway. Then at the second round, we got out super early because of a mess up that I did in my chase run where I straightened. At round 3, we moved over to Orange Show Speedway. Sophie actually came to Vegas to watch me drift in Vegas. Unfortunately, we were not able to do anything and we got out super early as well. That took us to round 4. We were in the championship points. We were second. We were losing to Philly Drifts by just 1 singular point. We were on opposite sides of the bracket. It was end all be all what was going to happen. We were going to end up meeting against each other eventually, and the winner of that battle was going to be the winner of the championship. Now, fortunately for me, Philly ended up getting out in top 16 or top 8. So from then on, moving forward, everything was smooth and dandy for me. I just was trying to lock in a podium at the final round, which we did. We got 3rd place at the last round of Flavor Express, and we took home the championship with 1st place on the West Coast. So that was our first year drifting on the West Coast with that car, which we had obviously drifted with here on the East Coast, but we were able to lock in our position. Started to raise the question of, are we going to be upping the antes on the West Coast and running Hot Pit, which is the next big series. There's pro level drivers, pro spec level drivers, and pro am level drivers. It is now officially a licensing series as well, and we have to decide what are we doing with the West Coast. Now to talk about the East Coast series, US Drift Circuit Pro Am. Now this is a series that, just like the Flavor Express one, we went in there with the mentality of let's have fun and let's not get crazy, let's not get over competitive, and see what our skill level's like and challenge ourselves to drive with better drivers. Now, Old Faithful here, the East Coast Corvette now, did not let us down by any means, but at the same time, let us down every single round. We had kind of a drama-filled but fun season overall here on the East Coast. Round 1, we ended up getting out to Tyler Hess in top 8. Now we got out in top 8 because unfortunately in the top 16 battle against Vicente, we started off the run and he kind of had a unchaseable start, but I didn't want to leave that in the face of what I thought was happening. So I still chased him down for the whole battle, and I was playing catch up the whole time and ended up throwing the car into the wall of tires with my rear bumper, which ripped off the rear bumper. Me being negligent and me being there for fun, and to be honest with you, me not taking this seriously, I didn't care to get the car fixed, and I went under the mentality of we should be all right. Well, pull up to the starting line, and unfortunately track staff came up to me and says, you don't have rear taillights, can you get them fixed? Called our 5 minutes, realized we could not get them fixed, and we got out in our top 8 battle. Taking us on to round 2, we were doing okay with the layout. We did have a little bit short of gearing, could have used some more wheel speed, and we had a bad wheel bearing on the rear right side of the car. We noticed that it was bad, so we went to tighten the axle to make sure everything was nice and tidy and to ensure no issues were gonna happen. And of course, we broke the axle in practice. So we had actually ranked high enough during the first round to where we did not need to do the seating at the second round, and if we just crossed the line, we were awarded 30 points. So took the old broken car through the line at 1 mile an hour, as you can see here, and that was due to the broken axle. That's why we were going so slow, and we did not get to compete. We still supported Tyler Hess all the way. He got up to like top 4, something like that. He was doing amazing. Unfortunately, he got out due to a bad ball in his fuel system, where because of heat it expanded, so his car had a fuel starve and he got out. Then we went on to round 3, went on to round 3 at Sebring, and the car was doing phenomenal. We had a little bit all season long, we had a little bit of an issue with my car starting and it not idling correctly. So between round 2 and 3, thanks to Tyler, we actually swapped the car over from the stock ECU to a standalone ECU by Holley. So we put in the Holley Terminator X. The car was running phenomenal. We made it to the finals, and the arc panel that goes to the switches, to the fuses, to the solenoids, whatever they're called, there was a cable loose right by my gas pedal. Once again, me being negligent and naive, I saw that cable all freaking day long, and it wasn't getting in my way, so I wasn't fixing it. What do we do? On the last turn of the finals of round 3, we step on the cable, car shuts off, and we don't get to finish our battle with Christian Catron. We did our lead, he chased us, he led, we chased him, and boom, step on the cable. Got second place overall at that round, but this was the first testament that as long as the car doesn't break, we can go all the way through. And once again, we got out in the finals because the car broke. We went on to round 4 of US Drift Circuit. At this point in time, we're officially 5th in points. We make it to the top 4 battle. The car's running phenomenally. We have no issues. And unfortunately, on initiation, Eric Noguera came up behind us. For some forsaken reason, hit our rear right wheel, which caused the diff to blow up. So our brand new RPM diff that we got at the beginning of the season blew up on initiation after that contact. We're 95% sure that that's the cause of it. I don't see how else it could have blown up. The floor was still a little bit patchy. The car was not gripped up because we're a little bit down on power for that track. So I don't see how we could have broken it other than the impact, and it happened right when the impact happened. Our rear left hit the wall a little bit. Unfortunately for Eric, he went straight into the wall, broke the whole front left of his car. I felt super bad. He was not able to go on to battle. I was not able to go on to battle, but since Eric was deemed at fault, I was still bumped up into the finals. Unfortunately, not able to battle in the finals. I ended up with 2nd place. Now, there's a bit of a misconception with what happened at the very end. Chris Jackson, the gentleman who actually hosts the US Drift Circuit series, came up to me and asked me if I could run. I was like, no, but I don't care. I'm happy. Overall, we get 2nd place for the event, and we got 3rd place for the championship. Now, I never even believed that I could have gotten 2nd place for the championship, but come to find out, Matt Schulman, who was the 2nd place person, got out super early in the competition. We went all the way up to the finals, allowing us to actually gain 10 more points, which is 1 battle. Because we made it to the finals, we were actually able to lock in the 2nd place for the championship. Now, in the moment, the points weren't clear. I was deemed the 3rd place winner for the championship. I got the 3rd place trophy. But looking back at the points, thanks to Eric Noguera, who actually did the math because he wanted to see what his standings are, he found out that I should have gotten 2nd, which is fine. We're planning on swapping out the trophy, swapping out the checks between Matt Schulman and myself. And big congrats to Christian Catron. He killed it. Guy was dominating the points by a landslide. He got 1st place. He's going to Pro Spec. License well earned. Matt Schulman petitioned in. He's going to Pro Spec. So in the end, the championship was between 3 drivers, 2 that are now officially Pro Spec drivers, and me. So overall, we had a killer season. We won on the West Coast. We got 2nd place in the championship, did 2 podiums on the East Coast, meaning that for the 2025 season, we had 6 podiums total between 2 competition series, all by going out there and having fun. Now, I've always advertised that the dog box and the quick change is not necessary for Pro-Am. This car does not have a dog box or a quick change. And I would say 1/3 of the grid in the US Drift Circuit Pro-Am series out in Florida has a dog box and a quick change. always a modification that I don't think was necessary for this car. The gearing was pretty good overall this year, and I was always able to overcome and adapt by adding or removing grip to make sure my wheel speed could work with what we were doing and the people we were competing with. So that leads us to what are the plans for the 2026 season for our drift program. Now, we've won a lot of YSFAB this past year, and up until about a couple weeks ago, our plan was to get a full YSFAB replacement kit for the West Coast car to go ahead and get replacement coilovers, replacement wheel bearings, axles, so on and so forth, and build a really, really strong program on the West Coast, and to go back and run hot pit on the West Coast and program here on the East Coast. But unfortunately, we're tired. Running 2 seasons drifting, going cross country while running a full business has become very time consuming, and we don't think that this is the best decision that we can make for next year. With the differential braking on this car at round 4, Michael Elsa actually posted a smoking deal on a quick change axles modified subframe that can hold a quick change on Facebook Marketplace, which we were looking at prior to breaking the car. And when the car broke, I messaged him the Sunday after round 4 of Pro-Am, and I bought the quick change, which has set us on a rabbit hole of making this a pro level car. So essentially all the funds that we would have spent next year to run Hop It, we are going to utilize them to make this car a pro level car. We're going to keep the West Coast car as is. We're going to go back out to the West Coast. We're going to go have some fun days with the boys. We're just going to keep the car there and enjoy it, and probably build it into a pro car at the end of the 2026 season, because I do really want to run Hop It. I just don't see myself comfortable running 2 full-on programs, considering that every time on the West Coast it was me and Jared going out booing, having fun. On the East Coast it was me and Andrew going out booing, having fun. And I don't want to take that side of the competition away where it is fun until I know that I can compete while having fun with the crew and not have to worry about anything else, because I know that the skill is there. As of right now, we are still going to every battle thinking that everybody's better than us and we're not 100% confident. I'd like to run 1 more season of Pro-Am, kind of put a staple into what we've built this year to showcase that we do have the skills as a driver to go out and do more fun series, and potentially even go into Pro Spec for the 2027 season while doing Hop Pit at the same time. Those would be 2 very fun series that we could run, and we can ship this car all across the country and potentially do more events at the same time. So as of right now, Hop Pit is off the table. That car is going to stay there. It's going to be a fun day car, and we're going to build out this car. So what are the plans for the off season and this car? As of right now, we have the quick change purchased. We are in the process of purchasing the dog box for this car. We are going to get a rear mount radiator, because the radiator on this car is right here, and it makes it very difficult to service the front of the engine. Also, this car does not stay very cool during the hot summer months, and thanks to Tyler Hess, he recommended me this setup that he did on his car that works phenomenally. So we're going to do the same thing, because we had power steering issues with this car before, and we don't want to get stuck in competition not being able to service it due to the radiator taking up all the room in the front. And rear mount radiator is race car. It's super cool. It's something that I just want to do. We're going to do a tube rear end also. We're going to get a new rear bumper, because that thing has gotten chewed to bits this past season. We have a leak on our power steering rack. Luckily, we already have one that we had built for the West Coast car that used to be here. So we're going to be putting that new power steering rack on this car, and we're going to do a few odds and ends. We might put some nitrous. We're going to do an engine refresh. We're going to go over all the wiring, make sure everything's nice and tidy, because at round 4 apparently on the live stream my rear lights were going in and out, so we got to be sure of what could be the cause. But this car is perfect. It runs phenomenally. We're also going to be doing a big brake front kit for this car. Clutch kickers, which we ran about a month ago. Our little rods that go in, that push in and out the brakes, actually bent. shout out to Adam and his team. He's a pro spec driver. They were pitted next to us. They actually helped me re-bend the bracket straight so we could still use the front brakes. At round 4 at OSW, we actually barely had any front brakes, so we were kind of driving all or nothing, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. So we're going to be upgrading the front brakes to match the rear brakes. So we're going to be putting quite a bit of money. Hopefully we partner up with some partners this off season so that they can help fund all of this. And we're going to go out, we're going to run Pro-Am next year, or we're going to run clutch kickers. It's undetermined. We're going to go have fun. We're going to go rip this car. We're going to make sure that we can still be competitive and that, you know, this was not just a fluke of a year and we can continue to excel in driving. And we're going to go drive the West Coast car for fun. So there's going to be a lot of videos coming up over the course of the next 2 to 3 months, from the rear mount radiator fab to the 2 rear end to the quick change to the dog box to the firewall and everything else that we kind of have to do on this car over the course of the off season. So I'm hoping you guys will be excited for all those garage videos. We're gonna take a hiatus from drifting for 2 months. Might go out on the West Coast and do a fun event, maybe end of January, early February or something. If there's an event that comes up and we have free time, we always have to go check up on the location over there so we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Hope you guys enjoyed this little different video today. We're really excited for the 2026 season. We're excited to officially have a pro level car under our belt, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.